It's the 11th of June 2026. Look at that. Fucking come out here. Okay, now look at that. Should that there be curved? Should that be curved? No, it shouldn't. Should any of this be here? No, it should. Lots of things to say. Lots of things. Where do I start? Should you be able to see the neighbour? Do you think you should be able to see the neighbour? That's correct. You shouldn't. Now, okay, where to start with this joint? We're house sitting here. This is Blackheath, and it's actually in a very inconvenient spot. Now, all this is he, the owner, Dennis the owner, they're in the UK at the moment. He wants to take, or there used to be a water tank just there. It wasn't good enough for him. He didn't think it provided a bit of privacy, but no, he actually, he's like this multi-millionaire. This is my time to have a whinge and a bitch, and I can, because I can. Because I'm the house sitter, pet minder house sitter who's going to have a fucking whinge. Where to start? That used to be the water tank there. They've now put it to here. See? Just here. I don't know how much that cost him. See that there? He moved it from there. He moved it from there to there. And see this fence here? Wasn't there before. He gets real bored and restless. That was just all open space, and now he's put that there because so no one will come along and take his stuff. And I thought the people in Sydney were paranoid. They like, I'm really going to have a whinge in a bit. For months, for quite a while, I was so looking forward to this gig, really looking forward to it, because the first time that we were here, let's look at this gate. See these? See these? See this? He's basically really cutting it all up. He's cutting it all up and doing this and putting it here. Putting it just here. Putting it just here. Do you think that's ridiculous? What do you think of this? I want to know what you think of this. This fence thing here. What do you think of this fence? Now tell me, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think of this fence? Do you like privacy? Because I love my privacy. I love my privacy. What do you think? Would you do anything with this fence? If you're thinking yes, this is okay. This is what I'd do. This would be the first priority that I had if I was here. I'd put a 10-foot fence plus a 16-foot hedge. I'd put a 10-foot fence going all the way along with Gothic buckles on it, Gothic things. And this here, see this here? That used to be that. They're just here now, look. They're here. They're just there. And there used to be lattice coming up to just here. And so there was a reasonable amount of privacy here. I know, lightning bolt in my neck. Fuck! That hurt. That was a bad one. Lightning bolt in my neck. That was a bad one. Been getting them for a decade now. So, first time I heard was March last year. He told us of all these elaborate plans. And we didn't really think it's his property. He can do what he wants. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Let me try to be calm about this. I'm getting all this out now. Oh, while we're at it. This is where he puts his bins. Now, do you see anything wrong with this? Do you see anything wrong with this setup? If we get too close here, bang on this. And this is it. So what he's done, they went to the UK, and he's left these two. One of them came down because that there is supposed to go there. And it looks dreadful. It looks terrible. It will look terrible. Would you have that? Would you have a see-through fence on a private property, or would you have a 10-foot fence plus another 6 foot above that of hedges, so 16 feet of privacy all the way along there. Now, the first time that we were here was different. First time we were here, I did have, I was very calm and had a lot of peace, but there was something that happened to me which caused me a lot of stress, and I had to deal with it, and so I didn't have a great time here. It was actually very sad here for me, very stressed. This was not here. None of this was here. See the cars that go by? They can see me. I don't like that. Would you like that? Do you know what I did? 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 I'm calm. I am calm. We love house sitting. We love house sitting. But sometimes when you look at something and you think, I could do it better, I wouldn't do that. And as a house sitter, I know better. Just here, see how when everyone drives by, they can just look in and see me? I don't like that. Just up there is a walk, is a walking trail, a walking track, and it's very popular with tourists. Tourists love it, and there's a lot of traffic along here, a lot of traffic. And what half the tourists do? They stop outside here and take pictures of the joint. You know what I did? I put all sheets up here. All sheets, and there was this corrugated iron down there. And I put sheets up here. Managed to tie it all off, I thought. And also the dogs can get out. They get out regularly. We keep the dogs usually roam free here. But first chance she gets, she runs. So he's got all this doodle daddle here. He's got all these things here. Oh my goodness! Would you do it like this? Would you actually? No, you wouldn't, would you? I have a 10-foot fence with iron Gothic buckles, and ironically, with all this, there's no trail for the bins. So the bins are over there. You've got to walk them through here. It's a mess, and I had sheets up here. And there's corrugated iron down there. I had no idea it was there. Oh, I had no idea it was there. And he brought it up here and he put it horizontal there. I was like, oh, I said, Andre, you are a genius. And then I got this bright idea. I brought all this other bits of corrugated iron up and I put them vertical. One was there. There was two more here. There was two up here. There was one. Well, I'll tell you what happened. The neighbours, the neighbours who can't mind their own business, that can't keep their nose out of other people's arseholes, the snoopy neighbours. I feel like we're being spied on here, by the way. Now, spied on numerous because Dennis knows everyone in the street. He knows a lot of people on the street. And he tells them everything that he does. I'm the complete opposite. I don't tell my neighbours anything. My neighbours know nothing. They don't even know we're here at the moment, our neighbours. But he, I think it's to up his status, keeping up with the Joneses. I think that's why he does those. He tells them everything, his neighbours. And I think he said keep an eye on the place. Well, they literally are doing that. They've come up here because the neighbours came up here to have a snoop, saw all the corrugated iron, saw all the sheets, took pictures of it all, sent it to Dennis. And Dennis got in contact with us saying, what the hell is going on? What are you doing? What's all this corrugated iron? Take it down now. Take the bloody thing down now. And looks like a bloody compound barricade. I'm like, they'll call it the Mad Max 2 barricade. I was going to take it, it's the Wednesday now, put it up on the Sunday afternoon late, all day Monday. Dennis got in contact with us on like Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday, late Monday evening or very early Tuesday. Late Monday evening, I think it was early hours, and he said, take that bloody thing down, now. And I thought that his actual response would have been, thanks so much guys, thanks for putting that up, it'll keep the dogs in, it'll protect the property, thank you. Instead he was like, get that fucking thing down, now. And I admit, it was my doing. It was, in fact, 24 hours previous to that, the sheets were down. I was like, you know what? Because we had 80 kilometres an hour winds for 4 days. I was like, you know what? I give up on these sheets. I was going to bring it all back inside. Then rain and Andre came over, and I decided to put it back up. And then I was like, you know what, Tuesdays just going to take the whole lot down, because the corrugated iron is very dangerous to be up there like that, very dangerous. And it's not a good thing to have the corrugated iron up there, very dangerous, and I knew that. And so I was like, you know what, Tuesdays just take the whole lot down. I had it up there for 24 hours, and before I got a chance to, the neighbour that comes, I saw 4 people out here in white baseball caps, all with their cameras, and I thought they were tourists. I was like, oh, friggin' tourists again. Turns out they were the neighbours way down the street who came up for a snoop, and see, they don't understand the situation. They look at it, they make a judgment. They're like, oh, they're being weird hippies, they're being dark, they're being satanic, they're being weird, what's all this shit? And they get scared, they get threatened by everything. These mainstream people, these mainstream neighbours, probably Baptist people, get very threatened and intimidated by anything that's different. They can't understand that. Anything that's creative, they don't get it. They don't understand it. And 4 of them were standing just there. And I walked out from there, and they were there with their cameras, and I'm like, oh, tourists. And it turns out they were neighbours from down the street who were gossipy and snoopy and related, and so the owner got all these. He said he got these different messages from neighbours who were saying, you've got, your house is doing all this weird shit, people have moved into your property, you've got some dirty hippies in your property, there's some unknown cars there. It's like, mind your own fucking business. Now, and I came up to Blackheath to have some peace, and with everything that he's, would you do this, with everything that he's done with this property, we wouldn't do this was all not here. None of this was here. This time last year, that wasn't there, those rocks weren't there, they weren't there. There was a lattice going across there which gave us a good reasonable amount of privacy. These were put in. This wood chip wasn't there. This wasn't here. These trees were here, this wasn't here. He said, oh yeah, I'm going to do all this, I'm going to do all that. And he said, it'll be like back home in London. There's a place called Rosenberry in London. I'm making it like that. I was like, well, this is Blackheath. That doesn't work here. This is Blackheath. It just doesn't work. Now, would you do all this? There was a lemon tree just there. He took it out because he didn't like it, because the rosellas come to every day. It was just there, the lemon tree. He didn't like it, so he got rid of it. And there was another tree just there, which the rosellas loved as well. He got rid of it. Now, this is the corrugated iron that I had fun. I made my compound out of about 6 sheets of that. He's doing all the... Oh, there's a concrete mixer there. He wants to concrete the driveway. What do you think of that? No? Yeah, exactly. He actually wants to concrete his driveway, which is bloody ridiculous. Don't need to concrete the bloody driveway. Now, see this house? He wants to bring that gate there. Would you have it like that? It was actually fenced there before. He's taken that and put the gate there. See that there? That tree trunk? See this? See this? That was a huge tree. This time last year, that was a huge tree. He cut it down at Christmas, said it was getting in the way. Gave it a lot. See all this here? See that there? Well, all that there was like that. It was provided fantastic privacy. He's cut it all down. Cut it all out. You're wondering what this is, aren't you? Don't know. We're trying to work it out. Have no clue, no idea what the fuck that is doing there. None of that was there. There was just a nice area with a nice little hen house. He's done all this. See this? This is a curb. This is all. None of this was here. I'd get rid of all that. We had a couple of friends over. And they said, what the hell is that? That's a mess. And they said, what the fuck's he trying to do? That looks stupid. And he wants the house to come down to here. He wants a pool. And he wants a tennis court down there. And it's like, this is Blackheath. You don't do that sort of thing in Blackheath. This is Blackheath. And He doesn't want any bird. He used to have all the cockatoos go up to the veranda every day, but they were shitting all over his veranda, and he they don't feed them anymore. And the rosellas were coming around. The rosellas started to annoy him, so he got rid of those. The tooks are in there now. He didn't want them out here. He doesn't want them digging up his land. He's added 2 more tooks. He had 6. He added 2 more tooks, and then the tooks are not getting along. Yep, 3 tooks. 3 tooks is good. 3 tooks is nice, not 8. And I feel like I'm being spied on and watched by the neighbours constantly. They cannot mind their own business around here. And there was Sunday, accidentally switched off the hot water without realising. What happened was when they did all the electrical circuitry for the circuit board, the switch, the fuses, they made the main water switch. They couldn't be bothered going a couple of metres wiring, sending the wire a couple of metres to the main fuse box, which is 2 metres away. They just thought, oh, can't be bothered going to the main fuse box. We'll put the main fuse for the hot water in the bathroom. We'll make it this switch here. We won't label it, and we'll just have to figure it out. And the plumber came out. 24 hours later, the plumber came out. He changed his thermostat. And then the electrician came out and did his basics and said, there should be a switch in the bathroom. I had no clue what he was talking about. He said, there's a switch in the bathroom. I need you to flick it on and off for me. So I went in the bathroom and flicked it on. He said, that's your fuse. And he said, yeah, that's your fuse. It's in the bathroom. Should be in the fuse box, but it's in the bathroom. Someone got a bit lazy and just didn't want to do the extra wiring. And bloody ridiculous. And this was 2 hours with the plumber because he was trying to figure out certain things, which he did. It was a 2-part problem, and so what they've done is they've got the fuse in the bathroom, so when no one's using a shower, we'll save some money by turning the fuse off. We'll switch the hot water off on off-peak hours. So just say if you decide you want to have a shower at 10, well, you better switch the hot water on at 7. And then no showers during midnight at 6. You can't have the hot water on during there because you're saving 20 cents. And the neighbours around here are very conservative, mainstream people, and they all message them saying someone's taken over your farmhouse, someone's taken over your property, some dirty hippies there or something. They put up this ridiculous barricade. Better get onto it. And you go, what are you doing? And we're not coming back here ever again. Look, we're not coming back here. It's sad here. The owner, he's called all the neighbours crazy. He's the crazy one. He's the bully. What's that fence? Don't know. He wants to put a tennis court in there. Ever since I got here, we tried not to, but we've both been whinging and complaining about the layout of this place and how utterly ridiculous it is. And when we were here in the December last year, I thought these trees would be like 20 foot high. This is Blackheath. Things don't grow fast here. He's told the owner, he talks a mile a minute, barely listens to anything you say, and just keeps on his own tangent. And he'll just talk. If you say something to him, he'll be like, what? Yeah, and he'll get on with his own thing. He'll be like, I do this and that, do this and that, this back home in London. Yeah, and there's a place back home in London, and he wants it to look like this. He wants this to look like that. And in March last year, when we were here for a month, this was all grass. These were in, but there was none of this wood chip. None of the wood chip. It was just all grass, all open space, really nice. That bush area was very high. It was all high. And he said what his plans were. I said, you're going to put a tennis court in? He said, I'm going to put a tennis court in Stockholm. A tennis court. Do you play tennis? No, but I'm going to put one in anyway. He says, he sort of says, I'm going to have all these Japanese gardens, and he said, I'm going to have a pool, and he said, I'm going to have my tennis court. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And so he's, what are you fucking going on about? I'd have a 10-foot fence along there. I'd have nothing here, but I'd have a few trees in and a garden bed. I'd probably have a garden bed with vegetables. Wouldn't have any of this. Get rid of all this. Get rid of the lot. I'd have a 10-foot fence up this way, and see this path here? There was more trees here. In the distance is the Blue Mountains. And he talked about making new trails. And I was like, didn't really know. Yeah, you know what? It's his property. He can do what he wants, but he's making a bloody mess of things. Absolute bloody mess. Now, there was trees here. He's chopped these trees. He's making new trails. This was the trail here. But the Blue Mountains are in the background. He wants to chop a lot of these trees down so you can see the Blue Mountains. But these trees are wonderful. They're wonderful. See these? This is a new trail up here. He's cut through the forest. He's cut through the woods. He's cut through the woods that way because he wants it all to. He wants it to be all fancy. He's going to make it all fancy like this place back home in London. This is the original trail here. It opens out to this. See this here? This wasn't here before. He's made that. It goes down there. He's done all this. He's made an absolute bloody mess of this place. This is the original trail here. It goes down to the fence, and it was really ideal like that. It was ideal. But no, he wants to make it. And you know, the last 6 weeks that for the last 4 weeks that we've been here, it's been stressful because I've been angry and sad about the change. He's taken away. He's compromised his own privacy. He's compromised himself. He's taken away his own privacy, and I have felt it a lot because the track up there is a very popular walking track. A lot of tourists come here. A lot of people from Sydney come here most days of the week. You get people walking on that road all the time. And how can he afford all this? He's a builder. He's been doing this for a very long time. We think he's a multi-millionaire. He's a miser though. There's certain other things he just didn't leave us any funds. When we house it, some of the owners will leave us funds at some time. Sometimes he didn't leave us any. Didn't leave us enough land. This is my whinge today. This is my whinge. This is my whinge. And we're not coming back here again. We're not happy here. It was once a nice place, but it's not anymore. Those statues, Andre came to visit, and he said, they look ridiculous. Oh, my sister came over to visit in December. She came over one afternoon in December, and she said, the statues look stupid, they look ridiculous. And Rain, she came over the other day, and she said, oh, and what the fuck is he doing? You don't do this at Blackheath. And we related the plan. Told Rain that they can extend the house and put in a pool, and Rain was like, because Rain loves Blackheath, Rain was like, what the fuck, is he out of his mind? Going to do that at Blackheath? Go to the city to do that. Go bloody somewhere else to do that. He likes to chop down trees. And he likes to make a bloody mess of things. This is my whinge. I feel like we don't have any feel like we don't, feel like I've got no privacy. I feel like I'm being watched. The neighbours come up, they snoop, they report back to him. It's interesting because in our unit complex where we live, and the other unit complex, which I complain about often, have been trying not to come back. The neighbours couldn't care less what we do. I'm the one who knows everything about the neighbours. I'm the one who spies on the neighbours. I'm the one who watches the neighbours in their every move, if they're not a good neighbour. And here, they're spying on us. As I said, our neighbours back home don't really care what we do. They're loud bastards. They're obnoxious and loud. I haven't had to hear them for 4 weeks. It's been bloody beautiful. It's been great. But the irony is they don't care what we do. And they're loud bastards. They're loud, but they don't care what we do. And here, all the neighbours, one neighbour got back to Dennis and said, "There's a red car there. There's a red car at your property." He said, "That's the house sitter." And they said, "There's a white van." Andre came to visit with his white van. They said, "There's a white van. Got some dirty hippies there," he said. And they questioned us. They said, "What's the white van?" And I had to explain herself. Oh, it was embarrassing. She said, "I had a friend visit." "What's your friend doing there?" And you know what, at Greenwich, when we were house sitting at Greenwich Point, the owner said there's a spare bed. There was a few spare bedrooms. Stayed in this big house right near the water, not far from the water, 4 or 5 minute walk from the water. And the owner, he said, "Oh, there's a spare room, yeah. Have a friend stay over. Have some friends stay over. Have a party." I was like, "Oh, really? No, have a friend over. Have some friends over. Have a party if you want." And here it's like, "What's that white van? Whose white van is that?" And it's like, "Oh, our friend came over to stay." "What does he come over to stay for?" Oh my goodness. And then with the water, the owner said, "Oh, did your friend use up all my hot water?" And we're like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, our friend loves it." So this is my whinge, and we're gonna move on from here. We're moving on from here in 2 weeks' time. We're not going to come back. We're not coming back. I haven't had a good time here. I'm not having a good time here. We're going to sage the house today. We're going to go to Katoomba. We're going to get some sage. Going to go to Bunnings, buy our own firewood. We've decided that we just can't use his firewood. I'm not going to use his because he'll whinge about that. He's already angry at everything we've done. We were good with these guys at first. We were good with them. My performance on the fence with the corrugated iron was stupid for me to put them up. I was going to take them down anyway. It was stupid for me to put them up. Really stupid. And there's a rope there. I put the sheets up on that rope. I put the sheets up just for some bloody privacy. And I'm exhausted from all this. It's exhausted me. And it just hasn't been a good time here. It hasn't. It's been just stressful and sad and angry every second day. Getting angry at. We should be grateful and thankful that we've got a roof over our head, that we're house sitting, looking after the 2 dogs. But every day we see what Dennis has done around here, and it just makes us angry that he's doing all this bullshit around here. He thinks it's all wonderful. Oh, he thinks it's. I think his partner, his wife. He doesn't treat her well. He bullies her. We saw that the day that we came up here, and he was just saying things to her and being a bully and not talking nice to her, and I think she cops it from him all the time. And so you'd think it'd be very peaceful here, but it's not. It's not at all. It's actually stressful and sad. It's like stressful and sad. A few times they don't seem to care that the dog's gone out. And someone found the dog on the road when it got out and messaged them in the UK, and they said, "Oh, I'll just take the dog back up to this address." Fuck. Anyway, I'm exhausted now. I'm exhausted. Alright. Today's date is the 16th of the 6th. It's just sad here. I have grief here. It feels it's sad here. And I feel a bit embarrassed. I feel like every time I walk out here, if someone walks past, I practically duck for cover. This here is a mess. I would not have that in my front yard. So every time someone walks past and sees me, they think that that's my shit, my crap. And I feel like wearing a big sign over my head saying, no, it's not my crap, it's the owner's bullshit, not my bullshit. And not my bullshit. And I just feel like I must explain myself to everyone. So having grief here, every time someone drives past and looks in, every time someone drives past and looks in, I feel violated. Yes, I'm whinging. I'm having a whinge and a bitch. This tree here is way too close to the driveway. Would you have a 10-foot wooden fence up here? Yes, I thought that would be your answer. All those are unnecessary. These things don't grow in Blackheath. No, just get rid of all this. And what else? What else can I... It's not even whinging, actually. It's just people who do stupid things. This guy, Dennis, is a builder, but he's not an architect. And there's a difference. Architects know good things. Architects have style. I have style. I know good architecture. Builders just go... When people walk past, they think that I did this, and I just feel like saying, no, I didn't do any of this. This is not my doing. The owner. Would you leave that fence? Would you leave that fence like that if you had 2 dogs on a property and 8 chickens? And then, I'm too fucking lazy before I left. Incompetent. There's a sadness here, and get rid of all this. Guess where they put their clothesline? Here. We couldn't find it. Would you put a clothesline here next to the truck pen? They put it here so no one can see their underwear on the line. That's the tank they moved. This is supposed to be... He's a multi-millionaire, he's a stingy bastard. This is useless. This is actually the garden. These guys are in here temporarily. This is going to be the garden, and apparently the trucks are going to have something else. What a fucking mess. And I wouldn't have these here. They're in the way. I wouldn't have any of these here. I practically tread on... Would you have that there? I wouldn't. Fucking stupid. All this was not here. He's got a stupid timer on the trapdoor. So about 6 p.m. every night, it closes, and if trucks are not in, they're not in. Laziness. Just have a regular door that I would come down and close at, say, 5:30 or 6 p.m, but he's put the timer in there so he doesn't have to come down here. Fucking stupid. Yeah, I will have all this gone. All of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of all of it. I wouldn't have cut down one tree, and I would have had the single trail. That's it. See, the car drove by there, looked in. I'm violated here. It's about the 20th of June, 19th of June, I think. How do you like that, Dennis? I've let your chooks out. We were told not to let them out. We feel so sorry. They're cooped up in that awful pen. Barely able to breathe. And he doesn't like them out because he doesn't want them digging up his farm. Go and dig. Look at that. Let them have a bit of freedom. They're all cooped up in there. And came out here this morning, and the 2 white ones were gone. I searched everywhere. See, these chickens like to be out. I'll let your chickens out, Dennis. Let your chickens out. Now, there's 2 under the house here. 2 of them are under the house. They're seeking shade. They're just in there. They're just seeking a cool spot. These chickens have been cooped up for so long, and that in their small quarters is not right. these two white ones get out almost every morning, and I had to chase them back in. And they're just having a relax here now. He doesn't want them digging up his land. Bah humbug. Now, I left this out for them there. Dennis, bah humbug. Your chickens are having a walkabout today. Letting them out. And they're actually very easy to pick up. I've already checked, they're very easy to pick up, these ones. Yeah, some owners make a mess of their place. So the ash from the fireplace I put just here. We take good care of things. We take very good care of it. This place is very high maintenance. Never have 8 chooks. Have 3. 3 chooks. And ridiculous gate. What that fucking stupid thing. Dennis, you're a menace. And your chickens are out. What do you think of that? Oh, the bush turkey. I love bush turkeys. 8. Okay, 8 chooks counted for. Right. So they've been digging up the ground. They've been digging it up, which I'm going to actually... See, I am considerate. And Dennis is already he's already angry. But what I'm going to do is get the rake. There's a rake which is screwed to the back of that penthouse. He's screwed it on there so no one can get it off. He's a knobhead. I'm going to get the rake and rake all this to make it look like the chickens haven't been into it. He'll go off his nut if he sees this. If this is our property, I'd have 3 chooks and I'd let them rip the whole thing up. I'd put it back to all plain grass. And I wouldn't buy a mower because the kangaroos come here. I'd have chooks and the kangaroos. I'm going to get the rake. We've decided we can't really let them out again. I am considerate. Gonna fix all this, and if this was my property, I'd let them rip the whole thing up. I'd let them rip it all up. My partner and myself, like an hour ago, we were just stating. She was stating how this entire setup is ridiculous and how stupid it is, and that we wouldn't have anything like this. In fact, this place, it makes us feel very sad. It's exhausting. We had another event about how every aspect of this property is bloody ridiculous. The whole place makes us feel sad. Dennis the Menace is out of control with his stupid ideas and wants to make it all pure and proper, but doesn't want the chooks out because they'll dig up his property. Well, you got to let the chooks out. You can't have 8 chooks. Anyway, we're very sad here. We're leaving on Saturday. We're getting out of here. My partner, before she said, do you know why he's got it all open? Because he wants everyone, everyone look at my wonderful property. Look at my wonderful property. Look at it. Oh, Dennis, he's just a bully. Talks a mile a minute. Doesn't listen to a thing you say. You say something, he's like, back to my thing. And that's how it is. A lot of changes need to be made around here. A lot of changes, and we just know that Dennis is going to do over the next year or so. Next 6 months, Dennis will do the exact opposite of what he should do around. He's going to make a mockery of the place. He's already made a mockery of it. Anyway, I have 3 chickens, 4 at the most, probably 3. 8 chickens is extremely high maintenance, not manageable. We're leaving here on Saturday, and we're never coming back. This place is sad. I feel disconnected. I feel we don't feel good here. It's just because Dennis's energy is here, and he's a bully, and he's working class, and he wants everyone to come and see his Rose and Mary. Sad. Not had a good time here at all. Might not be able to let the chickens out tomorrow because I just got to make it look like the chickens haven't been out. Anyway. Come here. Now this is very, very, very important to say, very, very important, is that the dogs have been very good company. This one here is very difficult to walk because she wants to, pulls on the leash like nothing else and wants to go her very own way. This one here, Fluffy, he's very, very good dog. they're going to have when the owners get back, they're going to have a huge problem. I've got the Chooksons out today briefly because they just can't be cooped up. I'm out here with them for a while. Now, this one here is very attached to my partner, and when the owners get back, they're going to have a huge, huge problem in that. This one here, anywhere my partner goes, she goes. And if my partner goes out to do something, she panics. She just completely panics. So they like us more than they like their owners. And so when the owners get back, unfortunately, Dennis the Menace has trained Flocky to chase cockatoos because Dennis doesn't like cockatoos shitting all over his balcony. And he doesn't like cockatoos digging up his land, so he's actually trained Flocky to chase all the cockatoos. You got knobhead, not Flocky, but Dennis. Flocky's a very good dog. This one is very, very calm. These dogs have been very good company, and I feel sorry for these dogs. When Dennis and Mary get back, I feel really sorry for these dogs because these dogs like us more than the owner. I walk these dogs actually twice a day. I've been doing it twice a day because they've got to do their business. This is a very good dog. Just went back to Sydney yesterday to our unit. And it was nice to lie on my bed. Oh my goodness! We went back to do a couple of things. We 95% of our things we took back to Sydney last night. We did it late last night. All 95% of our things are back in Sydney, and so that the day that we leave, we've got 5% of things to take. One suitcase, a couple of bags. That's it. Sad place. This is a sad place. So yes. Okay. It's the 12th of July. 2026. We had a very bad experience at that gig. Dennis is a vile, aggressive man. He's a bully. And we've been traumatized by it. We've been traumatized by the experience. A lot happened. On the 26th of June, the high maintenance gig, very high maintenance gig. I had a lot. And we've been enumerating on it every day, talking about it every day, talking through the trauma. I did a lot of physical damage to myself, including all my left side. Had to go to because I did my lower lumbar in, and I went to the best chiropractor in Sydney, and he's the best. I've known him for about 7 years now. Anyway, all this left side I did in, I think I had a hernia when I was 10. I think I affected that. Where to start with all of this? Dennis, a very aggressive, vile man who thinks he knows everything and knows shit about everything. Calls himself a farmer. He's got no idea about style, no idea about... No, he's a builder, but he builds shit. We were doing our cleaning. I got everything out into the balcony. And I was getting everything out into the balcony. And my partner, she was inside, and she was doing the kitchen. And the very next thing I was going to do was redo the floors again, because you're walking from the outside and it's just dirty. Straight away it's dirty. We're bringing the bags out. Had the bags out on the veranda. I just about gotten everything onto the veranda, and I was gonna redo the floors. The place is so fucking high maintenance. And the taxi pulls up in the driveway. I'm like, fuck! I said to my partner, fuck! They're back! She did this, and she went with the wiping down of the kitchen. I kind of froze, and he came up the stairs, opened the gate. No, he was already in a foul fuck. He was already in a foul mood. He was already angry, and he came up the stairs. I weakly smiled at him because I was also angry with him. I'd already said that I was going to be calm, polite, and try not to say too much. He came upstairs. He walked in, and he said, we were both like deer in the headlights. And he said, what's going on with my house? What have you done with my house? What's going on with my house? Let's see the house. He said, let's see the house. And his first words, no hello, no how you doing. Because we were the reason why all our bags were out in the balcony was because we were meant to pick them up from the station, which we didn't want to do. We were fed up with the whole situation. And the entire time she had been messaging my partner on WhatsApp. The entire time. And for some reason, as soon as they got back. When they got back to Sydney, all of a sudden, she decided to message my partner through normal message, which she'd never done before. She had later said, oh, I got back here, I just thought I'd message you on normal messenger. My partner did not get the notification, and we thought they were 2 hours away. And so she messaged on normal messenger, normal text. My partner did not get the notification, and therefore we didn't get the message. So they got to the station, they got to Blackheath, and we weren't there. And they were already pissed off with us. We were annoyed with him because his wife, she's actually a good person. She has a good heart. She's a good person. She has good intentions. She has a good heart. He is a miserable miser. He's a bully. He's not a nice person, and he isn't a. We've talked through this so much. We have, and he looked around. And the first thing I said hello to Mary, and she was neutral toward us, She looked exhausted. She looked tired, like he had been in her ear the entire way, and probably through their travels, he'd been in her ear, whinging and complaining, like the miserable bastard that he is. And so I immediately put all that stuff in the car. And he started to carry on, he started to complain, and then I stood up while they sat down on the balcony, and he proceeded to lecture us, patronised us, told us how good he was at everything, and then how I wasn't good at anything. And my partner said, I did all the work. But I did because my partner wasn't that well, and that I did everything around the place. And he went, oh, so you're hopeless toward me. He said, oh, so you're hopeless. Instead of saying, oh, well, you had quite a lot on your hands, didn't you? He said, oh, you're just bloody hopeless. You're just bloody hopeless, aren't you? And after 5 minutes I said, oh, all the final checks are done. And he proceeded to continue on whinging, and whinged about the plumber, and he said, that circuitry in the bathroom, there's nothing wrong with it. There was nothing wrong with the thermostat. That plumber was a liar. I can tell you now there's nothing wrong with any of it. I told him what I thought about his property, what I would have there, and he laughed at me. He laughed at me and shook his head. And he said to me, well, we know that you're not a farmer and that you don't like the cold. And blah, blah, blah. It was awkward and exhausting. And at one point he said, we've been on Burke's backyard, we're on Burke's backyard. And I said, oh, that's the top tier, that's the top tier, that's the best. And I'm like, I'm going a little too far with this, going a little too far, he's just going to get angry with you. And he took it as a compliment. He said, well, yes, it is. And I'm like, you don't get better than Burke's backyard. And I'm like, you've gone too far now, he's going to snap at you. And he went, I know, it is, isn't it? He was serious. He was like, and we've been on it. I'm like, and it's exhausting to talk about this. It is the worst. It is the worst gig, house sitting gig that we've ever done. But the Blackheath gig, this gig, was a big disaster. Just a very big disaster. Total high maintenance. They should have 3 chickens, not 8. Did physical damage to myself with collecting branches every day for the log fire. Got the wrong combustion. You've got the wrong combustion. Just to keep the fire going. Finally, I said I wasn't going to check. Like I had a fantastic structured fireplace with the way I arranged all the wood. I had my levels in there, and you've got to keep keeping an eye on it. It's not so. I wasn't actually enjoying it. More so, having to keep a constant eye on it to make sure that it was going well. And that stupid combustion heats only 2 square metres around it, even one square metre around it. 1 square metre. It is a bit useless. And I forgot to take the curtain. I forgot to take the curtain down from the bedroom. He went, what's that rag doing up there? What's that rag? And I'm like, rag? I'm like, oh, the curtain! So I raced inside. I could hear him, like, creeping up on me. I got the screws out, got them out, got the curtain, and he said, what are you doing? He said, what are you doing? I said, and his wife said, she said, they're allowed to have a curtain up. They're allowed to have a curtain. He said, what's that rag? He called it a rag, and very derogatory to other people that he's talking about. He's very derogatory. Foul mouth. Not so much derogatory. I'm just exhausted saying this. They had a recycling box, and our friend Andre came over with his bow and arrows and drew a bullseye on the recycling box. And when he said, we can't leave this here, he'll be like, what are you doing with a bullseye? What have you been doing? And so I forgot it was there. So they're back. I literally picked up the box and carried it out in front of him, thinking it was what are you doing with our box? Why have you got a bullseye in that box? He said, I whooshed out. And he said, not a word. I got it out to the car. And then I realised that her dressing gown that we had used at the Lithgow baths was in the car. I hadn't taken it out of the car. So my partner, Dennis, and Mary on the balcony, and I've got the bathrobe in the car. Well, I took my jacket off, I put the bathrobe inside the jacket, I carry upstairs straight past him into the bedroom, and Dennis is like, what are you doing now? So he's in hot pursuit behind me. I get into the bedroom, open my jacket, take the dressing gown out, put it up on the back of the door, take 2 steps. He's there. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, what are you doing? And he is off his rocker. He's a vile man, a rude man, thinks he knows everything. The dogs are for Mary. The dogs are for Mary. The little dog got incredibly attached to my partner, and we've been very sad when we left. And so we left there. We left. We're halfway down the street, and we're halfway down the street, and my partner rolled down her window and said, "You're all fucked." And I'm like, she said, "You're all," and she said, "You say it now. Open your window and say it." So I went out my window and said, and I yelled at her, "You're all fucked." And she said louder, "You're all fucked." And she said, "Does that feel better?" I'm like, "Yeah." The next day, the Sunday, which is now 14 days ago, about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Dennis, called Dennis the Menace, we call him Dennis the Menace because the plumber said, "Oh, Dennis the Menace," and we thought that was hysterical. Let me see if I'm still recording. It's real. The day after, we get a call from Dennis, and for 10 minutes he proceeded to critique us and accuse us, and he was a bully on the phone, a bully. I haven't been spoken to like that by someone, and I don't even know if I have been spoken to like that. I can't remember, like years and years and years ago, maybe. I felt like I was in the deputy principal's office and being, "You've done wrong," and when really I hadn't. And he abused us over the phone for a full 15 minutes. How? Do you know what you did to our house? You've destroyed my house. You've left it like an absolute pigsty. Everything was filthy. The fridge was filthy. You left old milk in there. I don't drink milk. They had their milk in there. We weren't going to touch that. I actually cleaned the fridge. I gave you a wipe over. He said the fridge was filthy. You left old milk in there. The bottom of the pan, he said, "You've ruined the pan." He said, "You've destroyed the oven." I said, "Oh, I actually cleaned the oven with oven cleaner." He laughed at that. I said, "I cleaned the oven." I'm actually trying to be polite this whole time. He said, "You've destroyed my oven." He said, "You've ruined the oven." I said, I didn't ruin the oven. I put oven cleaner in there, and there were a lot of marks on there, and I got rid of all those marks. I got rid of them all. And I cleaned the bottom of their pan. Underneath the pan, I cleaned it. It was filthy. I cleaned it with the steel mesh thing, but I cleaned it. And he said, "You've destroyed you've destroyed the fireplace." I cleaned the combustion fireplace. I cleaned it all out. Mind you, I didn't leave him with any firewood. Like, I didn't go and collect any branches for him. I didn't do any of that. Doing everything at once was very exhausting. I cleaned the fireplace. There was soot and ash on the floorboards. We didn't have enough time to get that up. He said, "You've left a bleed." He didn't see any of the good points. He just he would have got his wife to clean everything, because my partner said, "I want to speak to Mary," and he said, "You can't." She said, "I want to speak to Mary," and he said, "She's cleaning the fridge," and she said, "I want to speak to Mary, please." And he said, "No, you're dealing with me." And he threatened us. He accused us. He was rude to us. My partner stood up for herself and stood up for us. I had a weak moment where I was vulnerable to him in the sense of, I said, I just said, oh, I'm sorry if you weren't very happy with the way I cleaned the combustion. And he said, cleaned it? Oh, you've destroyed it. I didn't destroy it. I cleaned it. And he just went off like a madman. He just went on and on and on. We went silent. I said, don't say anything. And then he'd start saying, are you listening? Are you listening? Are you understanding? Are you listening? And I said, listening? And I was furious with him for the next few days after that phone call. Furious with him. I've calmed down a little. But I've been furious with him, and I let him talk to me like that, let him talk to us like that, absolutely furious. And I've gone through the different stages of emotions on this, and finally he cursed at us, he said something, he swore at us, and then the reception cut out. And that was it. And so that was, I haven't experienced a phone call like that. Very unprofessional on his part, vile, nasty individual. We feel sorry for his wife because she is the only company, he is the only company that she gets, because we've worked out that she doesn't have many friends. He doesn't allow it. He gives her a small allowance out of his millions. They did not leave us any money to survive on up there. In fact, we brought that subject up. It's a bit unetiquette to bring that subject up to them. We brought the subject up. We said, no, we put a lot of our own money into this. You didn't leave us any. And he just shrugged him. He shrugged him. And then just chuckled to himself. We probably put 200 or 300 in for groceries, took food, bird food, because I fed the birds. He never feeds the birds, I fed the birds. He was negligent in the gates of property. He hadn't put it on, so the dogs figured it out, so we had to keep extra on. We couldn't, the only time we had the dogs on the leash. And we learned that the next door neighbour was spying on us 24/7, around the clock. A friend of ours had come over, if you like that. A friend of ours had come over the night before for a while, and the neighbour actually called Dennis to say, there's a strange man in your yard, strange man, could be thieves. And we said we'd had a few friends over. We said, why did you have friends over for? What are you doing? What friends? Who? And he didn't like that. He said, who have you had over? And but I think I'm a bit over talking about this. I was going to make this video a few days ago. I've been meaning to make it over the past fortnight. Haven't done it. And now at this point, because apart from myself, we've discussed this most days in depth. And on Instagram, my partner was scrolling on Instagram today and came across a picture. Dennis is on his back balcony, 2 dogs up on the table. They look uncomfortable. They don't look like they're not happy, because they were very, very attached to my partner and myself, because I'm a lot better than those. I was so much better with those dogs than he will ever be. He put these scarves over his dogs, took a picture of them, and that they weren't happy, especially the big dog. But we saw a picture of him with the dogs. My partner saw a picture of him with the dogs on his balcony, and they looked very unhappy. This was like taken like yesterday. They look very unhappy. He's we've been traumatized the last 14 days. We've been traumatized by all this. Traumatized by it. Also, on the house sitting site, they left us a glowing review last time, and what he's done is he's gone back onto the site to give us a scathing review, and he couldn't because it wasn't an official gig. They called us to come back. They didn't advertise on the house sitting site. They just they didn't advertise on the house sitting site. They just called us back. So he couldn't adjust his review because it's been too long now. He couldn't adjust his review, so that would have annoyed him. You can't really get in contact with the house sitting site. They don't have a number, and so he wouldn't have been able to contact them. I did actually go on the house sitting site and change my details because I actually had my details up there, which is not a good idea, and so I changed my last name, I changed everything, changed my details, incognito, much better now, and yeah, just he thinks he knows everything and he doesn't know shit. He's got these grand plans which are going to annoy the neighbours. He must make so much noise of a day when he does things around that place. It's all not good. He's got this dangerous gate that you can cut yourself on, where he keeps the recycling. When he said, "What, did you forget to take the recycling out? Did you forget to take it out because it's all overflowing?" And it's like, it's weird in that area because people leave the bins out for days on end, and I put it out, but I think I must have missed him by now, so I put it out and he had a go at me for that. He said, "Oh, bloody embarrassing. He whinged about everything, and he was ungrateful about everything. Yeah. And he is not a sane person. He is off his rocker. An English guy should go back to England. Oh, I'll show you what they got us. They brought this back for us. They brought this back. What the fudge? They brought us back fudge. And my partner, she had like 3 pieces. "Oh, are you actually going to eat that?" She was like, she had 3 pieces. They said, take it. I said, "What do you want me to do?" She said, "I don't care, I just don't want it anymore." So I took the rest of the fudge and put it in the bin. And this is going in recycling soon. This is what we got from them. This is what they brought back for us. Yes, I'm ungrateful about this. This is what we got from them. This is what we received. Generally you might be like, "Oh, no, just going in recycling. Don't want to look at it every day." We're just a bit beside ourselves that they left us $30 for chook feed. Usually people will leave us a few bucks for fuel and groceries. Like the previous gig that we did in North Sydney, they left us $300 for incidentals, $300 for groceries and fuel, which was good of them to do that. This guy's a multi-millionaire. He didn't leave us, left us nothing. The burr on the front fence, I cut myself on it numerous times. And never want to see that property ever again. I feel sorry for the dogs. I feel sorry for the 2 dogs because they became really attached to us, and especially attached to my partner. More so that their routine would have changed completely because I know that our routine's totally different from what their routine would be. Oh, that's our psycho neighbour. Can you hear her? She's off her rocker, absolutely off her rocker. And they've got a new dog. Pedro, Pedro, a new dog. And the other evening she came out and did this laugh I've never heard before. It was a really evil, never ever heard it before. Laugh translated to, oh, I know that you know things about me, but I don't care. She just couldn't even, she was like, and then she called out to her dog like a full volume. She went, ah! She's not saying she's off her rocker. She's off. She's madder than she is madder than a brass hair. Yeah. So it was actually good to get back here. Good to get back here. Oh, and their bed at Blackheath broke my back. I was in dreadful pain for 10 days. Finally went to see our chiropractor. Who's the best in Sydney. And he fixed me up. We went to IKEA and bought a new mattress topper, which is memory foam, and slept on it last night. Oh, really good. The Blackheath gig was a disaster, exhausting, and the worst gig we've done. I just wanted to, attaching this to that video, my goodness. Dennis the Menace. Dennis the arsehole. Thinks he knows it all, he's got no clue. No style, no clue. Doesn't know how to arrange things. Okay. That Dennis? What? What Dennis? What? What? Dennis? Dennis? What? What? Don't you talk to me that way. Don't you talk to me that way. Have been furious with him. She has to put up with him. She has to look at him every day. She has to put up with him. Those dogs keep her company. They keep her. We feel sorry for the dogs, especially the little one who was very attached to us. Dennis the Menace. My goodness. My goodness. Exhausted.